Are you tired of feeling trapped in your own mind, caught in loops of fear, tension, and overthinking? Does anxiety seem to show up uninvited, day after day, no matter how much you try to calm it or control it? You've probably read tips, tried meditations, and done your best to push through. But deep down, there's still a sense that something's missing, something more meaningful, something that goes beyond just coping. What if anxiety wasn't just a problem to fix, but a signal pointing towards something deeper within you? What if the way we relate to our thoughts and emotions could gently transform the way we live? In Buddhist philosophy, inner pain isn't a battle to win, it's a signal to explore. Instead of pushing anxiety away, we're invited to lean in, to listen, because within discomfort lies guidance, and sometimes our most persistent feelings carry the wisdom we've overlooked. In today's video, we're going to explore 6 powerful insights from mindfulness and Buddhist teachings that don't just help you manage anxiety, they help you meet it with clarity, compassion, and strength. Each one is a shift in perspective, a tool for daily life, and a step toward real inner peace. 1. The mind is not you, the thought is not you. There are moments when a thought arrives uninvited. Something's wrong, or what if this never gets better? Suddenly we're no longer in the moment. We're inside that thought, lost in fear and tension. But the Buddha offered a gentle reminder. This too is just a thought. Not every thought is true. Some are echoes of old fears. Others are habits, stories the brain keeps telling. But a thought is not reality. It's just a passing cloud. As one monk said, don't believe everything you think. Even the urgent ones are often just noise. With mindfulness, we start to see this more clearly. Take Eva, 76, widowed, adjusting to life alone. After her husband's death, she began to fear things like falling, forgetting, losing herself. Real concerns. But they were just thoughts, not facts. And they came with racing heartbeats and restless nights. Eva joined a mindfulness group. One day the teacher asked them to write, "This thought is not me. It is just a thought." It seemed odd at first, but soon Eva used it whenever fear came, and slowly the fears lost their grip. This is called non-identification, knowing you are not your thoughts. They come and go like wind in the trees. Some are useful, some not, but none define you. The goal isn't to fight thoughts, but to notice them, to say, "I see you, but you're not real. You're not in charge." It's a small but powerful shift, from being inside a thought to watching it pass. As Ajahn Chah said, let go a little and you'll find a little peace. Let go completely and you'll be free. So when the next wave comes, meet it gently. Whisper, "This too is just a thought." 2. Mindfulness, returning to now. It often starts subtly, a slight unease during morning tea, a tight chest while folding laundry, a feeling that something's wrong though nothing's happened. For many older adults, especially those living alone, anxiety can creep in quietly, pulling the mind away from the calm of now into the shadows of worry and memory. Mindfulness, rooted in Buddhist practice, offers a way back to the breath, the body, and the present, where peace lives. It's not about silencing thoughts, but gently noticing them, feeling your breath, noticing your steps, being where you are, not where your mind wants to wander. The Buddha said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment Anxiety looks ahead, but the present asks only for your presence. Let me tell you about Leo, a retired carpenter. After moving into a smaller home and settling into a quieter routine, the silence began to feel heavy. His mind filled with what-ifs. What if I forget something? What if I fall? What if I become a burden? His doctor suggested a local meditation group. Leo hesitated but went. The first session: sit, breathe, notice. At first my thoughts were loud, he said, but then I heard my breath, birds, the warmth in my hands. That changed everything. He began sitting in his garden each day, just breathing, not trying to fix or force anything, just watching his thoughts like passing clouds, and over time they grew lighter. Mindfulness won't erase hardship, but it teaches us to meet it with gentleness. You are not the storm, you're the sky holding it. And when your mind drifts, don't judge. The moment you notice, you've already returned. That's the practice. So if anxiety visits in your quiet moments, don't resist. Offer your breath. Feel your feet, the sunlight, the rhythm of your inhale and exhale. This is not denial, it's a homecoming. As Thich Nhat Hanh said, feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor. Take a breath now. Feel it rise and fall, and quietly say to yourself, I am here, and here is enough. 3. Compassion, the strongest kindness that softens anxiety. Anxiety often carries a quiet, cruel voice, one that doesn't come from others but from within. Why can't you handle this? You should be stronger, you're too much. Over time, this voice doesn't just stir fear, it creates shame. But Buddhist wisdom offers an antidote: compassion, not just for others, but for ourselves, especially ourselves. Many older adults were raised in a world that valued toughness over tenderness. You gave care to children, partners, parents, while ignoring your own exhaustion, sadness, and fear. And now, with more time and quiet, those buried emotions often rise: anxiety, regret, grief. But the path to peace isn't about perfection, it's about softness. The Buddha said, you yourself, as much as anyone in the universe, deserve your love and affection. Take Clara, a 79-year-old retired nurse. She had always been the strong one, the caretaker. But after retiring and losing her sister, Clara was overwhelmed by anxiety. I don't understand, she said. I've always held it together. At a mindfulness class, the teacher invited everyone to place a hand over their heart and silently say, may I be kind to myself in this moment? May I accept myself just as I am? Clara struggled at first. It felt awkward, selfish even, but the teacher gently said, compassion isn't ego, it's the courage to stay with your pain, not turn away. That moment shifted something. Her anxiety didn't vanish, but she stopped fighting it alone. She began writing letters to herself, forgiving the tired, hurting parts she had long ignored. Slowly, she began to feel whole again. In Buddhism, compassion is medicine, and like any medicine, it works best when taken regularly, especially in times of distress. Simple ways to practice self-compassion. Speak gently to yourself. Say, this is hard, and I'm doing my best. Place your hand on your heart during anxious moments. Remind yourself, I am here. Treat yourself as you would a dear friend. Acknowledge your strength. You've come through so much, and you're still here. Compassion doesn't remove pain, but it changes how we carry it. It turns anxiety into something we can sit beside, rather than something we have to escape. Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, "When you love someone, the best thing you can offer is your presence. That includes yourself. So the next time anxiety shows up, don't shut it out. Sit with it. Ask what it needs. Hold it like you would a frightened child. Because sometimes your heart just needs to know it's not alone." 4. Not mine, not me. A sacred return to inner peace. There are certain moments, quiet yet piercing, when anxiety wraps around us so tightly that we start to believe it is us. The pounding heart, the racing thoughts, the inability to focus, they don't feel like fleeting experiences, they feel like identity. In those moments, we whisper, "I am anxious," mistaking anxiety for selfhood, when in truth, it's only weather passing through. More than 2,500 years ago, the Buddha offered a teaching both simple and radical, one that can release us from this mistaken identity. A thought so gentle yet powerful, it can ease the hold of anxiety like sun burning through morning fog. This is not mine. This is not me. This is not who I am. This teaching isn't about pretending we're not anxious. It's about freeing ourselves from the illusion that our suffering defines us. In the Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, the Buddha explains the concept of non-self, the understanding that our thoughts, emotions, and sensations are not the totality of who we are. Just as the sky is not the storm, we are not the anxiety that moves through us. When we cling to anxiety, seeing it as a part of ourselves, we fuel it. But when we softly affirm, "This is not me," we begin to reclaim our true essence, spacious, calm, and unbroken. Let's ground this in a real story. Meet Leonard, an 82-year-old widower who'd been struggling with anxiety since the loss of his wife. He described it as a weight in his chest, a free-floating sense of dread that would appear without warning. Some days it felt like it swallowed up everything, even his sense of identity. "It feels like I'm disappearing into the fear," he said during a support group meeting. One afternoon, at a neighborhood mindfulness gathering, the facilitator led a meditation based on the Buddha's teaching of non-attachment to identity. She guided participants to observe their sensations and thoughts while repeating quietly, "This is not mine. This is not me. This is not who I am." Leonard placed a hand gently on his chest and echoed the phrase in his mind. Slowly, the tightness began to ease. It wasn't dramatic, but it was noticeable. A shift, a breath. In the following weeks, Leonard adopted the practice as part of his routine. When anxiety surfaced, he no longer tried to suppress it or panic in response. He acknowledged it kindly. "Ah, it's you again." He'd take a breath and recall the phrase, "This too will pass. This is not who I am." And each time, the fear loosened its grip just a little more. What's so powerful about this teaching is that it doesn't claim to eliminate anxiety. Instead, it offers freedom in the midst of it. The Buddha never promised a life without hardship, but he showed us how not to become imprisoned by it. Let's take a closer look at the phrase, "This is not mine." Emotions arise, but they don't belong to us. They're not property. They're temporary visitors, not permanent residents. This is not me. You're not defined by fear or unease. These are experiences, not character traits. You remain whole. This is not who I am. Beneath the anxiety lies a deeper identity, awareness itself, unchanged by emotion, untouched by turmoil. Thich Nhat Hanh once wrote, "Feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor." This phrase, "This is not me," can be that anchor, that steady light in the fog. a soft compass when your inner world feels unsteady. And as we grow older, this practice becomes not just helpful, it becomes necessary. With age often comes more solitude, unexpected changes, health challenges, and difficult goodbyes. But none of those diminish your worth. None of them take away your essence. This phrase, "This is not mine, this is not me, this is not who I am," isn't just for acute panic. It's a mantra for reclaiming yourself, for standing in your truth, calm, vast, aware. Because the truth is, you were never your anxiety. You are what remains when the fear passes. You are the sky, not the cloud. You are still here. 5. Where anxiety begins, holding on and pushing away. Anxiety doesn't arise out of thin air. It isn't some sudden, unexplained storm. It has causes, deep ones. According to Buddhist wisdom, two powerful forces are at the heart of it: clinging and rejection. These aren't abstract philosophies. They're patterns deeply embedded in how we deal with life, especially as we grow older. Clinging is the mental habit of grasping, holding tight to comfort, certainty, loved ones, routines. When the natural flow of life threatens any of these, fear appears. It pleads, "Please don't take this away." Rejection is its mirror image, the inner push against everything we find unpleasant. Pain, aging, solitude, loss. We resist them, hope to avoid them, try to push them out of our lives, and yet they still come. But constantly holding on and pushing back is exhausting and ineffective. As the Buddha taught, everything that arises also passes. Your body evolves, relationships shift, emotions change. Nothing stays fixed. And when we fight this truth, anxiety takes hold. Let me tell you about Brian, a retired architect. For years, he spent his afternoons sketching in his garden studio, a ritual that gave him joy and purpose. But after his eyesight began to deteriorate, drawing became difficult. He felt unmoored. "It's like I lost a part of myself," he once said quietly. Those afternoons used to be mine. He wasn't just missing a hobby. He was mourning the identity tied to it. That's where unease crept in. This is the essence of what the Buddha taught. Suffering doesn't come from change, but from our unwillingness to release what once was. When we cling to the old or resist the now, anxiety fills the gap, whispering, "You're losing control." But here's the deeper truth. We never had full control. Just as the lotus rises from muddy water, peace arises not from sameness, but from surrender. We find calm not by preserving every part of our past, but by softening our grip. You are not your habits. You are not the person you used to be. When you begin to let go of needing things to stay the same, when you stop tightening your hold on how life should be, something begins to shift. Anxiety starts to release you. As the Dhammapada reminds us, from craving springs sorrow, from craving springs fear. But one who is free from craving knows neither sorrow nor fear. So what if today, even for a moment, you allowed your mind to release its grip? What if peace doesn't come from going backward, but from welcoming what's here, now, just as it is? 6. A living practice, bringing the thought into everyday moments. There are teachings that stir something in the soul, like a fresh breeze entering a closed-up room. They touch us, move us, make sense in our hearts. But understanding a teaching is only the beginning. The true challenge and the true beauty lies in carrying that teaching into the rhythm of daily life. Where laundry piles up, phones buzz, joints ache, and the heart still trembles in the quiet. This is where the practice takes root, This is where real transformation happens. The Buddha's wisdom was never meant to remain in lofty conversations or distant monasteries. It was born to be lived in kitchens, at doorsteps, in moments of solitude or sorrow. The phrase, "This is not mine, this is not me, this is not who I am," is not reserved for meditation cushions or sacred texts. It is a tool meant to walk with us into the chaos and grace of everyday life. Let's begin gently with something simple yet deeply powerful, a practice you can begin even now. Find a pause. Sit if you can. If you're standing, feel your feet on the earth. Let your body settle. No need to fix anything, just breathe. Inhale slowly, exhale with care. Let your breath become a quiet hand resting on your back, reassuring, steady. Now bring to mind something that's been weighing on you, a small worry or a larger one, something unresolved, a lingering regret, a conversation you replay in your mind. You don't need to change it. Simply hold it in awareness, like a smooth stone resting in your open palm. As you gently sit with this feeling, begin to repeat these words, aloud or silently. This is not mine. Pause. Let the words settle like a pebble in still water. This is not me. Pause again. Feel the space beginning to open between you and the emotion. This is not who I am. And breathe again. With each breath, with each repetition, allow the tension to soften. Maybe just a little, maybe more. You are not rejecting this emotion. You are witnessing it. You are offering it space without mistaking it for your identity. Now imagine your breath as a soft breeze passing through a room. It flows through the space where this worry resides, airing it out, not forcing it to leave, but simply opening the windows, allowing freshness in. The room remains. It is spacious and grounded. That room is you. The anxious thought is only a guest. It may linger, but it is not the owner. This is the essence of the practice. Let's talk about when to use this. You don't need to be sitting in silence or wrapped in incense to awaken peace. You need it at 3 a.m. when your mind starts spinning. You need it when your grown child forgets to call and you wonder if you've done something wrong. You need it when your body whispers that time is passing and you feel something slipping just out of reach. These are not failures of your spirit. These are human moments, and they are where the practice belongs. In those moments, don't chase perfection. Return to presence. Breathe in and gently say, "This is not mine." Breathe out. "This is not me." Breathe again. "This is not who I am." Then turn to whatever lies before you, drying the dishes, folding the laundry, patting the dog, listening to the wind. The practice isn't something separate. It becomes the way you walk through your life, and something beautiful begins to happen. Your nervous system starts to trust the message. It begins to feel the truth. You are safe now. You are not lost in the past. You are not drowning in imagined futures. You are right here, breathing, alive, steady. Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, "The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it." This phrase, "This is not mine, this is not me, this is not who I am," is a bridge back to that seeing. It's an invitation to come home to the self beneath all noise, the part of you that has never been broken. So when anxiety arrives again, and it will, don't run, don't argue. Welcome it, sit beside it. Offer it kindness and truth. Say, "This is not who I am." The Buddha never promised life without sorrow, but he offered something stronger, the tools to remain steady within the storm. And among them, this one is a quiet flame This is not mine. This is not me. This is not who I am. Say it when the silence grows heavy, when night stretches too long, when your chest tightens and the world feels too much. Speak it gently, not as a command, but as a kindness. Before we end, I want to leave you with a question. What might your life feel like if you let go of what holds you back and started paying attention to what truly feels right inside? If this spoke to you, feel free to share in the comments. Your words might be just what someone else needs right now. Until next time, take a deep breath, be kind with your steps, and remember, your true self has never been broken, only waiting for you to come back to it.